What did you make of the effort in the first game? Obviously not the result you wanted, but you held your own against a really good ranked team in Kansas.
Yeah, I've obviously been asked this question a few times in the last few days, and I'm really impressed with how we came out. I thought the moment was really big in terms of the anticipation and how long we've been talking about that first match and who we were going to play and the environment we were going to play in. And by the end of that match, there was definitely over 10,000 fans there, and so I was really impressed with how we handled the moment. I think the part maybe that outsiders don't recognize as much is that we went into that match thinking we were going to win, and we went in thinking we were better than Kansas, and I still think we can beat them. If we had another chance. So that was our mentality. So we were bummed. At the same time, everything but the result was just a dream day. It was so fun to make history with this group, and so fun to show the country what Vanderbilt Volleyball has been up to.
How much are you guys looking forward to this first home game, obviously outside on Wyatt Lawn? Just a great opportunity against an inner city rival in Belmont as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool match, and very different from last Saturday in terms of who's going to be in the crowd and things like that, but equally special. And I'm just really excited for Vanderbilt to see our volleyball team, and we've been working really hard kind of in the shadows for the last year. So I'm really excited for students, faculty, athletic department, just to see this group and see how athletic they are. This is a really special group in terms of athleticism, and I think we're going to continue to open eyes this weekend in our own neighborhood.
It seems like this is also a team, in addition to being athletic, very poised.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I wanted this job when it became available was I knew it would put me in situations where I was surrounded by high achievers, and our program is Vanderbilt student athletes, so they're high achievers in every way, and we push them a lot to be grown-ups off the court too, and to mature off the court. And I'm going to be most proud of what they do after they leave our program, not what they do while they're here. So it's really serious that we are getting them to realize their potential in all areas for life.
What areas would you like to see improve from game 1 to game 2?
Yeah, we didn't play clean enough. Our error rate offensively was way too high. I think we were around like 23-24%, and our goal is around 15%, so we were way too high there. And then I think just ending big runs. We haven't figured out how to step up and end a big run, and when a team is really laying it on us, like how do we respond in those moments? And thankfully our practice gym has put us in a lot of tough situations lately, so we're getting to work on that every day. But yeah, we got to play cleaner, and we got to stop bleeding points when we're not playing our best volleyball.
We talked about the team being poised already, but the roster itself is built out great in terms of depth between experienced transfers and new freshmen. How are you trying to balance out that win now mentality with your players on their last year or two eligibility versus while developing a program?
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the 4 that are in their last year of eligibility this year, because it took a huge leap of faith to spend their last season doing this and not knowing how we were going to be right away. So I'm really proud that they're here. Also, a phrase that we've used with that group over and over again is plant trees you'll never see. And they're all here because they want to see this program succeed 5 to 10 years from now. So it's really easy for me to talk about the future and talk about where we want this program going 5 years from now. And I know they're bought in, and I know that one of the main reasons they decided to take this leap of faith was because they wanted to come back 5, 10 years from now and just be super proud of the product they're seeing.
Yeah, but speaking of which, what are the challenges of that? First SEC program added in '91.
Yeah.
You had a very nice resume at Kentucky, but now you're taking on a new challenge that most coaches would never face.
Yeah, it's hard, but I love it, and I love doing hard things. And I think, again, when this job popped up, I knew what Vanderbilt was, I knew what Nashville was, so those are the immediate draws. And then just realizing you get to do something that nobody's really ever done and nobody will do again, that really spoke to me. And that's what made last weekend so fun, and that's what is going to make this weekend so fun. Is it's been super hard, but it's also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Do you see a sort of positive trajectory? I mean, the non-conference schedule is a bit hard.
Yeah.
You have Kansas, you have 2 more Big Ten teams upcoming, and then head out west with some winning programs out there.
Yeah.
What are you trying to balance out with the team right now, trying to get them prepared for this test?
Again, I told them from the get-go this was going to be hard, and this was going to be really hard. So if they didn't want that, they shouldn't have come here. But I will say the schedule got a little bit tougher after the spring portal. I made the schedule first and then realized these teams are adding some really nice players. So that's part of it, but we got to be battle tested. And if we want to make the tournament like we do and make the postseason like we do, we got to be in environments that are going to prepare us. So I'm kind of a believer that the schedule is what it is, and we are going to face a ton of good teams in the SEC. So if we're meant to be a tournament team, we're meant to compete in all these matches, and we should go into it thinking.
What kind of atmosphere are you hoping for on Friday night?
Just like a big warm hug from our community, I guess. I know it sounds cheesy, but I'm just really excited for people to see it for the first time. And I think they're just going to be so floored with what our athletes can do for the first time. So that's something I'm super excited for. And then, again, I really want this to be a core memory of the student body. I mean, again, this doesn't happen where we're adding sports, especially in this collegiate environment. So I want them to look back on this and say, wow, that happened during my freshman year. I remember that first match. There's going to be a celeb row with some big names. So it's going to be a fun event and just a massive celebration for Vanderbilt.
What have you learned about Belmont?
Not a ton.
Yeah.
They have a new coaching staff, which Fritz is somebody I deeply respect. We both went to Ball State, so we have the same alma mater, and I've known him for forever. He's coached in the SEC, so we don't know a ton. We don't have any video on them since this is their first match. We know they're going to look different, and he comes from an area that is really good at serve pass, so I'm expecting them to serve pass better than they have in the past. But yeah, we're going into it really having to rely on our own system and rely on us playing good volleyball.
Right after the National Wyatt Lawn, you guys play in Bridgestone Arena. You're going from the Vanderbilt community to the national community.
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you guys want to have just beyond campus as well?
We've worked really hard since we've gotten here to get embedded in the national volleyball community, and they've welcomed us with open arms. So I'm expecting to see, all of the club high school connections that our program has made, and it's going to be really fun because it's SEC versus Big Ten too. So we're going to have some pride on the line, and the longer you're in college athletics, the longer that SEC versus Big Ten rivalry just matters, I guess. So I'm really excited for our players to feel that. But yeah, it's a pretty remarkable weekend of volleyball here in Nashville. So Nashville community needs to come out in full force and enjoy it.
What will success look like for you guys? You said obviously getting to the tournament, getting to the postseason. Aside from wins and losses, like identity, speaking more to identity and values and qualities of the transfers, the incoming freshmen, stuff like that. Can you kind of speak on what that's going to look like kind of going forward this year?
We've been really intentional about the culture that we're building. And again, when people are choosing once-in-a-lifetime decisions to join us, it adds to the culture and adds to your belief and adds to your protectiveness of the program and things like that. But what this program is built on is development, and we have to keep getting better no matter what. So I think that's something that we're aiming for, is just getting 1% better. And again, I know that's kind of cliche, but it's very true with this team that we just got to keep getting 1% better. And we have so many great athletes, and we actually have a lot of inexperienced players. A lot of players played their very first collegiate match last weekend. So I just see so much room to grow. And I just know that this team's going to be playing our best volleyball in November, not right now. And that's a pretty exciting thing. And also, you put yourself on a mission. Like, who can we be in December, not who can we be today?
And then, historic game against Belmont this weekend. And could you kind of speak almost directly to maybe that haven't ever been to a collegiate volleyball game, or maybe even ever at a volleyball game? It's a pretty exciting experience, and I think a lot more people should be able to experience it. So obviously, the inter-city rivalry is pretty exciting. Kind of speak on why Nashvilleians should maybe consider taking it out there.
Volleyball is an amazing sport, and if you haven't watched it, you're missing out. And this level of volleyball, women's D1 volleyball, is as good as it gets. We have like 4 or 5 athletes touching over 10-6. So these women are flying. Refs barely play a factor in the outcome. There's a point on every single play. There's never dead time. So it's a super entertaining product. And again, if you haven't seen it, you're going to come and you're going to want to come back. So my advice is to check it out on Wyatt Lawn, because that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime situation for us.
And then last question real quick. Can you kind of speak on the leaders of the team this year and how they're shaping the culture? And I talked to Jackie, and she was saying about brick by brick. I asked her about shatter your ceiling, 1%, getting better. Speak on just the leaders of the team, the captains themselves, and how they're going about bringing everybody together and moving forward.
I have super high expectations for our captains, and that's something I've kind of learned this year. And I push them a lot, and we meet a lot, and I push them to, keep me updated on the team vibe. Like, what's the team feeling right now? They're obviously a liaison between the team and me, so they need to be good at that. And just really be empathetic, and that's what this group is very talented at. Is just a super empathetic group, our captains are. So they are really able to put themselves in, their younger teammates' shoes. So it's been awesome to have them, and man, if we went into these matches without any experience, it'd be really hard. We had 11 people play their very first collegiate volleyball match, so we are relying on them heavily. to be great captains. And like I said, I got really high expectations. So it's not an easy role, but at the same time, I think it's really going to prepare them for whatever they do next, and hopefully it gives them confidence in whatever they do next.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.